They voted in favor of crypto. That's right, folks. It is coming to the United States of America. It's about dang time. And if you appreciate the updates that we're bringing to you guys, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. And just a reminder, all of our community resources are available at my website, zachrector.com. Let's take a look at the charts, and then we're going to get into the update. I took the time to read through this bill, or at least part of it. It would probably take me another day to read through the whole thing, but I'm going to give you the summary, the breakdown, and what this means for us in the cryptocurrency space, and why I am more bullish on this space than ever before. This massive wave of adoption is here, and now that the politicians figured out that they can get some votes, the full swing and the full effect of the DC machine is in effect. Let's take a look at it, folks. So starting out here, we are looking at our gold back down to 2,372. What I'm looking for gold to hold is 2,300. I want to see gold hold that $2,300 support. That would be very critical. Obviously, below that, this level of the 2222 gets interesting. You know, getting basically down to 2,000 was the main one that we had to break through. Now that we have, we can see if we can hold this $2,300 level, but a quick back test below that wouldn't shock me either. For silver, we need to hold 30. We're going to be watching it. It's back down to $30.50 right now at the time of this recording, and we will continue watching it. Moving on over to the crypto digital asset space. Now, we did get the run up on the news of the Ethereum ETF potentially getting approved. We've cooled back off down to 69.5 as I record this. For Ethereum, it is still holding just below 3,800, and we'll see what happens here over the next couple of days. The rumors are circulating now that basically the exchanges, their 19.4B or whatever form that is, are going to be approved, but maybe there's still some more work to do on the S1 filing. So that was the word from Eleanor Terrett today. We'll continue to have some more updates for you on that. Now, it was interesting on the comments of my video today and on Twitter, I had a few people mentioning, crypto's crashing today. What do you got to say about that? And I go to the charts and I'm like, what crash are we talking about? We had a slight pullback of like a few percentage points for most of the cryptocurrencies. I mean, we barely even came down at all. I was like, what are folks talking about? For XRP, it was back down to 52 cents. Not a big deal, holding here with the rest of the space, and the fundamentals are still there, right? You guys get it. Now, before we get into the crypto update, I want to show you one data point. This one really caught my attention. Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon says he expects 0 Fed rate cuts in 2024. Now, this is something that, I got wrong. I will say, I got wrong the fact that I didn't expect the market to continue rallying in this fashion, based off the fact that we haven't had rate cuts yet. So basically, this rally based off the expectation that we're going to get a rate cut has blown out my expectations. And this period, this pause of rates has lasted longer than I anticipated as well, which most people, anticipated. The markets were pricing in 6 rate cuts last year, 7 rate cuts this year. Now we're seeing the CEO of JP Morgan saying, or is that Goldman Sachs? Sorry. Yeah, Goldman Sachs saying 0 rate cuts this year. So everybody was expecting us to get rate cuts sooner than, maybe pushed out till next year. It's going to be very interesting because we know that the Fed probably doesn't want to cut rates close to the election. They have a September meeting. And then I think I don't know if that's the last one before basically the election. After the election, they have one the next couple of days. And so it's going to be interesting to see, finally, maybe one rate cut right before the election or right thereafter. But now we're starting to see the market adjusting. But this is what's, what I got wrong and what's blown up my expectations is how far the market has pushed just based off that hype, right? Typically speaking, when the markets do cut or when the rates do cut, the market's going to fall out because something bad has happened that has caused the Fed to cut rates. So anyways, we're going to continue to break this down, all of the financial markets. In this update, though, I wanted to focus on crypto. So let's get into it. They voted in favor of crypto. This is the FIT 21, and Nancy Pelosi has decided to join the party. That's right, folks. Nancy knows that it's an opportunity for her to make some of that money, right? So Nancy steps in here, and this really was a bipartisan effort. Brad Garlinghouse comments, well, this certainly has aged well. Today, more than ever, we are seeing what a political liability Gensler has been to the Biden administration. It's the reason we saw 71 Dems cross the aisle and support Fit 21. We are just getting started. Now, some folks wanted to criticize, including Maxine Waters, just referring to the Fit 21 bill as a, quote, extreme mega libertarian approach to regulation. Doesn't sound like a sea change in the Dem approach to crypto to me. The most harmful proposal I've seen in a long time, she says. The most harmful proposal. Well, what about her buddy FTX? Was that harmful at all? Where was that proposal? Where does that line up? Now, I did take the chance to read into this, and I've been voicing my concerns about this bill and others, is that now they see, okay, now we can get votes. Let's get in favor of crypto, but let's make sure we take care of our buddies. Let's make sure we take care of the bankers. Let's take out self-custody. Let's attack DeFi. That's what I'm worried about. Well, I already went through, and what did I find here in the bill? A couple tweets that I just put out. Fit 21 will limit the amount of units a non-accredited investor could buy from an issuer directly. No greater than 10% of your income or net worth, joint income and net worth if you have, or joint income and net worth if you have a spouse. So between you and your spouse, no more than 10% of your income or net worth can be used to buy the term that they use as units from an issuer of digital assets. That's directly. Right. So on the secondary market from the exchanges, you can put 100% of your net worth into crypto. There's no bill stopping you from doing that. But this is directly from issuers. And what they've done is they've included some definitions in this bill to define decentralization, the definition of a decentralized system. And so I broke into that a little bit further here. And I looked at this because I knew this was going to be one of the criticisms that they were going to bring towards XRP. And so I'm just cutting that crap out right away. Fit 21 definition of a decentralized system. This is one of the conditions that must be met. B, during the previous 12-month period, no digital asset issuer or affiliated person beneficially owned in the aggregate 20% or more of the total amount of units of such digital asset that can, one, be created, issued, or distributed in such blockchain systems, and two, were freely transferable or otherwise used or available to be used for the purposes of such blockchain systems. So they throw in a 20% threshold to basically define decentralized system. And so you already know everybody's going to get it confused. They're going to confuse the facts, and they're going to come in and try to say that XRP does not meet this criteria. So I said, now, of course, haters will say that XRP doesn't meet this definition because Ripple owns the escrow, which right now is about 40 billion XRP. And outside of the escrow, obviously, they have probably another 10 billion XRP. But here's the problem with that assessment. First off, Ripple is not the issuer of XRP. Remember, XRP was issued in 2012 by Jed McCaleb, Arthur Brito, and David Schwartz. So Ripple, the entity, Ripple Labs, is not the issuer of XRP. So got to check that first. Second, Ripple is not an affiliated person per the definition provided in this bill. So right above where I was able to, copy and paste this part of the bill, right above there, they give the definition of an affiliated person, and Ripple is not an affiliated person per the definition provided in this bill. 3, the escrow is not freely transferable as the escrow only releases 1 billion per month, nowhere near the 20% threshold they include in this bill. XRP does in fact meet the definition of a decentralized system provided in this bill. Combine that with the ruling from Judge Torres that XRP, the digital asset by itself, is not, quote, a contract transaction or scheme that embodies the Howey requirements of an investment contract. XRP is in the clear. Now Ripple does have 10%, probably free, right? Because they probably have about 10 billion XRP, give or take, that is free, that is freely transferable. They probably are at about that 10% number. So even when the escrow does get released and they get another billion at the first of the month, right? They're locking up about 70 to 80% of that is getting put back into the escrow. And so what that means basically is that, in simple terms, we're nowhere near that 20% threshold that would make the XRP ledger not a decentralized system per the definitions that they have laid out in this bill. Now, like I said, there's still a lot to unpack from this bill. I've only started to begin to read it. There was just a couple things that I wanted to pick out right away because I already saw where some of the haters were trying to go with this thing. Some of the haters are already trying to say that XRP doesn't meet the definition of a decentralized system per this bill. That's not the case, as I just proved to you. But nonetheless, we'll let the lawyers chime in. We'll let others, add to further analysis. I'm just doing my part to kind of read through and pick out what I can. The fact that they are going after accredited investors once again signals that they want to make sure that they protect you, that you're not worthy of being able to make investment choices for yourself. And if Gary Gensler had his way, the accreditation standard would actually go to $10 million net worth. So instead of the $1 million net worth outside of your primary residence, Gary would take it up to 10 million net worth to be qualified for an accredited investor status. Incredible. Now, as we've been talking about XRP and Ripple setting the standard for the rest of the space, just yesterday, Uniswap responded to the SEC Wells notice. Huge shout out to Vet for sharing this. They used the Ripple versus SEC case in their response in multiple sections. The XRP community literally ruined it all for the SEC. So right on out of this, for instance, the court in Ripple held that a crypto token in and of itself is not a contract or scheme that embodies the Howey requirements of an investment contract per the SEC versus Ripple. So that's right, folks. We've been setting the standard. We're going to continue to do so. Like I said, with this bill providing clarity for the rest of the space, but then also the additional precedent that we have with that ruling from Judge Torres, we're in a beautiful spot for sure. Now, continuing on, we have Michael S. Barr, Federal Reserve Board of Governors, Vice Chair for Supervision on FinTech Relations. Remember, he used to be Board of Advisors at Ripple. Now he was in charge of monitoring the banking crisis, and he is at the Fed. Says, quote, "There is a lot of innovation happening in the banking system, and that is terrific." I'm not going to play the full clip. It's 2 minutes long. But the point remains is that Michael Barr, very well aware of this situation, and what another funny coincidence that a former Rippler is now literally vice chair for supervision at the Federal Reserve. How is this possible? A little startup out of San Francisco pulling a board of advisor member of that status, pulling a board of directors member like the 43rd Treasurer of the United States, Rosie Rios. How is that possible? And in fact, I was thinking about this too. The fact that they created that threshold in the bill of 20%, I find very interesting because, as you know, in the XRP Ledger ecosystem, you need an 80% consensus to be able to change the direction of the ledger, to pass an amendment, to basically validate the network. We need an 80% consensus. So the fact that the bill, the FIT 21 bill, makes the 20% threshold is what you need to hit to make something decentralized, I found that kind of interesting. Nonetheless, we're going to continue to watch this because right now, like I said, this is from Eleanor Terrett, hearing that conversations concerning the S1s have now started happening between the SEC staff and issuers, with the conclusion being that there's quote-unquote work to do on those. Now, it's not stopping Wall Street from pumping it up. We have a guest here on CNBC who is literally shilling Solana next as the next ETF. And so this person says, once the Ethereum ETF is approved, it opens the gate for every other coin to start angling for ETF status. Solana has mimetic energy, so they're going to try to pump it next. But why stop there? Why not Doge? Why not? I'm not going to say it. It's going to get weird. It definitely is. It definitely is. We're going to continue to watch this one. We've been talking about how we definitely have an XRP ETF on the way and how the case for an XRP ETF is very clear. You have court precedent. It's also going to fit into decentralization per this bill. So an XRP ETF is definitely on the way. Is Solana going to be next? Very well could be. What I would watch for right now, as far as an opportunity for you guys out there, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not going to give you any financial advice or give you a signal. But what I'm watching for is what are the next cryptos that are potentially in line for an ETF, and riding that buy the rumor, sell the news event. Just like we got for Bitcoin, pumps up, ETF goes live, sell off, 20% plus. Same thing as what I expect for Ethereum. We're seeing that pump right now. It goes live or it gets delayed or denied, huge sell-off. So I'd be watching for that same thing, you know, once it starts to buzz around, oh, Solana's going to get an ETF, you're going to see that rally, watch for that. But I'd actually be hitting the exits as it's going live or even before that. Personally, I'm going to be looking at making some moves like that, and I will let you guys know. I definitely keep my Discord group updated on any trades that I make in our trading channel. Right now, I'm not very active because I'm not trading futures, and I don't really do much spot trading. I'm not really doing much spot trading right now. Basically, just building up my cash positions right now, building up my war chest, and just staying liquid through this, you know, silent recession. Inflation still running hot, and you know, plenty of opportunities here that we're going to be able to pick over. But I'm staying patient in that regard. Just like Warren Buffett, he's got what, 170 billion cash. Well, I'm a little bit shy of that, but I just keep on building up my cash position. Like I said, I'm not here to give you financial advice, but I just try to provide transparency as far as how I'm moving. Now, if you guys need any of it, gold, silver, precious metals, we got you covered at my website, along with crypto exchanges and wallets. Let's make sure we get that crypto secure. If you guys want to get tapped in with our private group, it's all over there too. You can sign up for Patreon to get access to Discord. We would love to have you in the family. And on the way out, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys would like this video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this bill. What you think of Nancy Pelosi giving us the thumbs up. She's ready to make some money. Let's get it done as well. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. We'll see you in the next one. God bless. Thank you. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.